So today we are going to test and see which is going to be better, clay or resin. A little while ago, I found this. I was looking around online for color changing pigments and I found this one that is activated by the sun. I decided that I was gonna make a short testing it out and I am just going to present you with a few highlights of how that went. I've already made some little friends out of clay. The directions are telling me we need to bake the clay guys first because if the powder gets too hot, it won't work. Now that these are all cooked, it's time to mix this with a little bit of glue and delicately paint everything. It's like Pepto-Bismol. Hello? Hello? I made a mistake. I made a mistake again. Everywhere. Oh no. Okay, that looks pink. I mean, this process is a nightmare. You look like a bird pooped on you. It just looks so chalky. Let's just test it. I have simulation sunlight in the form of a UV lamp. I am very skeptical. I frightened myself. Because it worked so well, it jump scared me. Go again. Whoa. Magic is real. We're gonna figure out how to harness this for evil. No, just kidding, for fun. If anybody has any tips, tell me in the comments. Okay, love you, bye. So a lot of you left me comments about how I could potentially use this a little bit better. And I also bought a second type of pigment that we could try for the very first time. Now the two main things that y'all told me in the comment section were that you wanted to see me try and combine it with resin, and then you also thought that it might work if it was mixed in with the clay. Because the resin is going to take 24 hours to cure, we are going to do that first, and then we will loop back to it at the end of the video for the final reveal of the resin. So I have here my little gummy bear molds that I sculpted. This is the shape that it will look like when it's done. I wanted to talk to you guys for a second about these powders. It's actually by a company that offered to do a little bit of a collaboration with me, but at the time I said no thank you. I don't ever want to recommend something to you guys that I have not tried before. I ordered this not knowing that it was from them. I wasn't familiar with this company, so I am kind of interested to see what they got. But I figured for transparency, I should let you guys know that they had previously approached me. There are also some pretty big differences between these two powders. These ones are UV or sun activated, and these ones are thermochromic, which I think means heat if we change the temperature. I'm not sure if they're going to be responsive in the same way as these ones are. Oh, I'm a sucker for a pastel mini spoon. Remember in the 90s, McDonald's used to have little coffee stir spoons like this? Not anymore, obviously, because it's no friend to the environment. It looks like some of the powders are a little loose. I'm gonna put my gloves on. Ooh, these packages are pretty. So this one goes from orange to yellow. This one goes from cyan to green yellow, violet to blue. This one goes from purple to pink. This one goes from dark green to lime. Now, I do only have 4 of these gummy bear molds, and I definitely want to test this. These two here are kind of similar, so I think maybe if we do all 3 of these, we'll have a pretty good color palette to choose from.
The resin that we will be using today is my personal favorite, Easy Cast.
The cap is stuck! The cap is stuck! Ow. Clump! Clump is here to help. This is stuck. Can you please help me? Don't do it with your bare hands. Oh my gosh. Please put gloves on. This is corrosive poison. Wear gloves, kids. Don't be like Clump. It's really on there.
Yeah, Clumpy.
What? Why aren't you wearing a glove? Easy Cast my... I'll be really interested to see this one in a fluid. Because it's so chalky, I'm curious to see how it's gonna work out. Oh! It just poofed at me. Good thing I am wearing breathing protection. Otherwise my lungs might become thermographic. I'm getting it everywhere. We're off to a good start. This stuff is like wildly dusty. Yeeshka. Even though those spoons are really cute, I'd much rather use a popsicle stick because I can get it out, plop it in, and the powder's not gonna go everywhere. It's to be expected at this point that they're gonna puff at me. Just little pigment farts. Ooh, I shoved it in there pretty deep.
The first thing that I noticed about the resin was that it was making things significantly darker than the powder was.
The colors definitely are changing, but they're just getting a lot deeper, which is not what I was expecting, to be honest with you. Yeah, it goes from this like bright limey to this deep, deep green. I'm curious how it's gonna change once it's all cured, if it's gonna keep that really kind of deep quality, or if it's gonna go back to its former limey counterpart. I'm really curious to see how this one's gonna change because I know what it looks like when it's mixed with that other stuff. Oh, what a beautiful shade of pink. It's the exact color of the wall. This is like my favorite shade of pink. It's like the 80s Barbie pink. So I do have a fair bit of resin left over, so I'm gonna grab a couple of other molds and see if we can mix up those last two colors. Now, normally at this stage, I would go ahead and use a little bit of fire just to get rid of some of the bubbles. I am a little bit nervous to do that just because some of these powders say that heat will damage their effect. So just be aware of that. That may impact our outcome and how they perform. Yeah, look, something happened there. Whoa, I just saw something bright green. Oh my God. What? Ah! Are you guys seeing this? No way. Yeah, this is gonna be neat. Before we get into doing the stuff with the clay, I do want to talk to you guys about a couple of concerns that I have about how the finished result is gonna go. Because if they do happen, I can be like, ha, my hypothesis was correct. But if it doesn't happen, I can be like, whoa, I was wrong. And you guys can also say, you're wrong. When I made the short, I did explain this very briefly, but I think a couple of people may have missed it, and that's why they said I should mix it in with the clay. The instructions for this say that it is heat activated. My preferred type of clay is polymer clay. In order to cure it, it has to go into the oven. My concern is that it's gonna go into the oven and whatever activates the pigment is going to get burned out or damaged, and then it won't work the way that it's supposed to. This stuff is really powdery, so if I don't mix it thoroughly or there are some little powdery gaps in where it's mixed in, we might get a strange sort of cracked, marbled, splitting effect. I've had clay like pop open when I've mixed it with pigment before, like just split in half. So, you know, there is that concern too. So I'm gonna try and do as thorough of a job as I possibly can. The clay that I'm going to use is going to be translucent so that we can hopefully see the pigment all the way through it, and it will be like a good vessel for the color. I'm gonna try and do the best that I can to give this a good shot. I figured this would be a good way to kind of break the powder into our translucent clays, and hopefully I can clean it in between.
I had seen a couple of other polymer clay artists using these cutting machines to blend clay pretty seamlessly and condition it, so I thought we would give this a go, to my detriment.
Ow, my friggin' feelings. I meant to say my thumb, but I just said, ow, my feelings. I guess that's where I keep them. Oh my gosh, this is too hard.
Instead of it blending the clay, it looked like I was trying to give CPR.
Come on. Come on, girl, you can do it. Try a different way. This is not gonna work. This is the concern. It's like pastry with the flour. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever made pastry before. If you have, you know, you've got your fats and then you mix it with flour. And then everything gets all crumbly and kind of falls apart. We're not off to a promising start, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a promising end. Okay, I'm gonna grab the pasta maker to try and blend this together. I am going to grab a pasta maker, flatten it out. I'm going to dump the powder into it, and then I'm just gonna keep rolling it through the pasta maker until hopefully things become uniform. Hopefully there won't be too much cross-contamination. This looks pretty uniform to me, so I think this is the method that we're gonna go with. It looks really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this 4 more times. Okay, enough goofing around. This is on to the next ones, guys. I guess it's on to the next one. Our first attempt with the pasta maker was good. This is the mess I was concerned about. There's like powder falling out here, and there's kind of this weird like bubbly pocket thing that I'm really concerned about ripping. Whoa, gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's got all these like bulging flaps. Well, at least we're having fun, and that's the whole point. World's least appetizing pizza. That's actually a really nice color. I really, really like that. Wow, very nice. All done. Now let's turn them into something. These are all of our finished colors. I thought that it would be fun if I made some color changing animals out of this stuff. I've never tried making a chameleon before, so I'm gonna do a chameleon, and I'm gonna do cuttlefish. Cuttlefish are also color changing. I have made a big cuttlefish before. I have not really made mini ones, so this is gonna be exciting. Chameleons have a naturally sort of anxious demeanor. Getting the mouth on this right is definitely a thing. That's more like it. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Maybe it's just me and I can see it here in the studio. But the places that I've been holding this and handling this, it's already starting to do a little bit of a reaction. And I'm really hoping that sticks around after it's been baked as well. If we can get this to work, this will sincerely be a breakthrough, I think. Oh, what a funny little critter. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna make a few more of these and I'll see you guys in a moment. Never not gonna be. This is kind of how I've been feeling this week. That's good.
After finishing up the sculpt of our chameleons, I also decided that it would be cute to add a bunch of scaling texture to them, and now they were ready for us to move on to our cuttlefish friends. To sculpt the tentacles of the cuttlefish, instead of individually pulling something out and trying to blend it in, I just ended up snipping off of this sort of thumb-shaped thingy and adding some eye sockets on the side.
I'm still trying to figure out how to do this without it looking like a sentient hand. And then I realized that that's kind of just how cuttlefish look. Maybe this is why I haven't made one up until now, because I knew it was just gonna kind of look like a creepy hand.
You know, I know I was just making fun of you, but I think I wronged you. You're actually pretty cute.
The first one that I make is never the best one. I think I'll probably make the tentacles on the next one a little bit shorter. There's some room for improvement, so the other colors might change a little bit, but I will see you in a sec when those are all finished. So this is an example of why I like making more than one of something before I make a decision. I love it in the little baby blue. And I can't believe that we haven't made cuttlefish before, but everything comes at the right time. And this is the right time. Only thing, I don't know if anyone else will love it as much as me. And if no one else will, then I won't bring it to the shop update. But if you do love it, let me know in the comments. The next shop update is on December 6th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I will be restocking worryworts. If you like this, if you ask for it in the comments, that is when it will be there. And if you'd like to get a notification, make sure that you're signed up to our email list so that you can get a little reminder of when these will be there. It's time for us to bake all of these and see if the color changing still works after the oven. Ooh, I'm nervous. Before we pop these into the oven, I would like to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't know if this powder is supposed to go in the oven. Don't do what I'm doing at home. I'm gonna be baking it in a well-ventilated space. I'm not gonna be doing it in an oven that's got anything to do with food. So don't be silly like me. Don't f around and find out at home. That's my job. My job is to f around and find out. Nothing on either of the packages says that it isn't safe for it to go in the oven with this clay. It doesn't say it's flammable or anything like that, so that's good. But I'm just saying this because I don't want to be responsible for you guys. I can be responsible for me. I have a fire extinguisher. Okay, I'm really interested to see what happens.
It has been 20 minutes. I'm gonna go down into my scary basement.
I got Clump.
Let's go, Clumpy. I'm going in.
Whoa, those look like they're a different color. It's because they are a different color. Wait, hold up. That's wild. The only one that's not different is this one, which is the sun one. That one's the one that's supposed to be activated by UV. We have a heat protective glove. Was this were these purple? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
It was bluey gray.
He was bluey gray. Hey, none of them split open like I said earlier. Let's take them upstairs and maybe I'll do a little time lapse of them cooling down so that they can come back to their original colors. That was amazing to watch. I actually can't believe that this works. Okay, so I am matching all of these up with their unbaked counterparts. So far, it's looking pretty true to color. except this one up top is quite a bit darker. I definitely think that we picked the right clay. The color looks like it's shining through. You can see just a little bit of the marbling on it now that it's cooled off, but I'm not seeing any ginormous cracks. My final test is to see if these still have heat reactivity, and also to check if this one is still UV reactive. Also, I didn't tell you guys, I did a sneaky little side experiment where I combined all of the clays together.
I'm being very sneaky. I'm making a surprise for you.
Is sort of a greeny blue, like a Gru. Isn't that the name of the character from Despicable Me? This color kind of fits him. That is definitely not Gru. Oh, my hypothesis! That concern was valid. It did happen to Gru. So my hypothesis was both correct and incorrect. The color he turns is very unappetizing. It's like a bad banana. I didn't really like the Gru. I don't really like the color he changes either. Our Gru has yet to cool down. This is the comparison of the two colors. Very, very different. Before I move on to the next phase of seeing if the clay will come back again with heat, I would like to go ahead and demold our resin. It's fully cured now so that we can test them head to head at the same time. Those are rock solid. I think we should do the gummies first. Oh, wow, just came right out. Wow, these are demolding very easily, so that's a good sign. Spoke too soon. This one is really giving me some, whoa, I just ripped the mold. Dang it. This one is very bubbly. Oh no, his face is not great, but that doesn't mean that we won't be able to test the color. Some folks that work with resin have special pressure chambers. I don't have one of those yet, but for today, we're just here testing the pigment. The colors look really good, but they don't scream gummy to me because they're not translucent. They look very, very different than what they did in the clay. I'm pretty sure that this is the same pigment. Two completely different worlds. I'm gonna glue some eyes into all of this so that they have personality. Yeah, this color is so pretty. I really like it. All of the eyes are stuck in. It is time for us to do the final battle. First up, I'm going to try warming them with my hands. I'm gonna hold it here for, I'm gonna say 20 seconds. I think there might have been a little bit of a change. Let me try with one of the cuttlefish. Panel is deciding your fate. I don't notice much of a change in that one, so I'm going to say that these ones fail the hand test. My goodness, these are so dark. I will test, wait, this one's the UV one, right? I accidentally tested it, but that is sickening. I will get back to this in a minute. Now let's test the favorite. There was also no change here, and I accidentally left behind gross fingerprints. Everybody failed the warm hand test. Monsieur.
Good night.
Do I see, are things changing underneath the blankets? What are you guys doing under there? What? Huh? Well, that's a wild change. Wait, do it again, do it again. Amazing! These passed the hot towel test. It's your turn. Sleep tight, little buddy. It's a slumber party. It's weird to me because I feel like I can see the colors changing from the outside. Show me your secret. Cool! Oh, that is so neat. I think these ones might actually pass more. They pass more than the resin. I would say that these guys definitely pass the wet towel test. Now I would like to test everything with my UV flashlight because it also emits heat. No, nothing with the UV lamp. We already know that this works, but it's still exciting. It still gets me every time. Nope, nada. I have one test left for each of these, and it is the hot water test. Wow, 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 look at that, it's amazing. Okay, wait. This is so cool. It's like they're real cuttlefish. Oh my gosh, this is so neat. Magic is real. Magic is real. These absolutely pass. Was it this one? Was this the one that was red when we took it out of the oven? It's turning red now. So the water works just as well as the oven. I think these are all the colors that they were when we took them out of the oven. Wow! The way this is changing back with water is amazing. Wow! I'm having so much fun, I forgot that we're testing stuff. And now I just want to play with these and have fun with all the colors that they're changing. It's time for the gummy bear test. Ooh, that one was almost immediate. And I haven't had a chance to see these change yet at all. My favorite one's not changing. Someone please help! Get me out of here! I'm being waterboarded by a psychopath. That is very, very vibrant. I thought thought this one would be more of a significant change, but not much. Now the red, I would have never known. And just like the others, wow, a little bit of cold water is changing it back. It is really cool, the effect of these two. Just for fun, I'm gonna put everything in all at once. And I've also got a little bit of ice water here so that we can play with the colors before we go. Oh, the water's about to spill over. Ah! Look at how bright everything is. Oh, good thing we have the plate. Oh, okay, this is the final result. A little bit of ice water here, and I want to see what happens. A grave incident has occurred on the bear's face. What if I just... Amazing. I'm having so much fun playing with these. I'm probably going to continue to do so for several hours. Okay, it's time for some final thoughts on this experiment, if you can call it that, and not just Karis gets to play with craft supplies and have a really nice day. I say this every time we make something, but this was so cool. It's always nice when I try something and I'm proven wrong on so many levels, that it didn't crack, that the pigment ended up working. Everything that I hypothesized did not happen the size. The actual winner is the powder itself, because it elicits so much joy and fun. I had an absolute blast today, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to try and find a way to include some of these in my next shop update. So if you're not signed up for my email list, please make sure that you go and check that out at kariscuttlefish.com. We are having our next shop update on December 6th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and if you want to get a reminder, you can sign up there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. This is the most fun that I've had all month. Remember to be nice to yourself and each other. Okay, I love you. Bye! Let's go, girls. It's over. Cut the lights. I said cut. Now I'm just alone in a dark room.